Hello and welcome to this edition of Planet Hope, the programme dedicated to the UN Millennium Development Goals. Target number 6 focuses on the prevention and eradication of various diseases. This week, we're looking at cholera. 10 months after Haiti's devastating earthquake, the infection made its appearance in the country for the first time in over 100 years. 12 months later, over 6,000 people have died from it and well over 400,000 have been infected. International inquiries into the outbreak found that the strain of cholera may have been connected to UN troops who arrived in the country to help with the aftermath of the earthquake. However it began, our reporters have been back to Haiti to see how people are coping with the epidemic.
Diving in to unknown waters. These men are going under to bring up sand, which they sell to builders for $25 a truckload. Something that can take a week to fill. It's little money, but it's their only source of income. And it's a job that's becoming increasingly dangerous.
Even if cholera microbes are in the water, well, we have to work in it in any case. I don't have a choice, so I'm resigned to it.
I know people who, like me, work in the river and who got cholera. It's scary, but I need the job. I close my mouth, but I guess drops get in anyway.
In Hinch, as elsewhere in Haiti, rivers take the place of taps, and it's via these waterways that cholera travels. Pierre wants to stop diving. The river has already taken too large a toll on his family.
I work in the river, and if I get thirsty, I drink directly from it. There's no other option. If I need to wash, I come and wash in it. And now I have my son who's sick in hospital. I can't even pay for his care. And I have a cousin who just died from cholera.
Pierre's home is just a few metres up from the river. Since cholera struck, he has become the sole breadwinner for an extended family.
My nephew and niece are here. I look after them since my brother died.
Pierre feels guilty, believing that he brought cholera home from the river.
This is the bucket I use to take water from the river when I can't afford to buy treated water. I drink this after work. Everyone does. That's why they're infected.
Pierre shares this 2-room shack with 8 others, 5 of whom have been ill with cholera, 2 passed away. His 3-year-old son got sick a few days ago and had to be taken to hospital. Meanwhile, Pierre's mother has just come home but is still suffering from the disease.
I used to wash clothes for a living, but since I got sick, I've had to stop. At times, I'm too weak to do anything. I've really come close to death, and I'm still seriously shaken by the death of my son.
Because everyone around here is afraid of the illness, I was the only one who would bring my brother to the hospital. But by the time I got home and ready, it was too late. He died on the way. Because he died with cholera, the doctors told me not to bring the body home to avoid infecting other members of the family. I had to just accept it and let them bury him.
In Haiti, water, the source of life, has become deadly. Back in the capital Port-au-Prince, things are little better. Even before the earthquake, only half of the population had access to toilets or any system of sanitation. And since then, things have just gotten worse. The city's canals, which double as bathrooms, hold more waste than water and leak a sullied scum over the streets. All in all, it's the perfect conditions for cholera, a waterborne disease to live, breed and infect. Totally treatable if caught in time, but if not, the vomiting and diarrhea cholera induces can kill in less than 12 hours.
She's vomiting and has diarrhea. She's got cholera, I think. A lot of people in my neighbourhood have died from cholera, so that's why I brought her in.
In under a year, over 6,000 people have died from cholera and more than 400,000 been infected. Statistics that swell every time it rains.
The problem here is that due to the lack of latrines, people have to do their needs in a plastic bag. They dispose the plastic bag wherever, so it's open in the wilderness. So if you have rain, it goes into the bag with the bacteria out of the bag and spreads all over the place. It's possible that this contaminated water contaminates a drinking water source.
Associated with vomiting, diarrhea and dirty water, cholera continues to carry a stigma of shame. At the start of the outbreak in particular, dozens died at home, hiding. Today, people seek help faster, but they're still embarrassed.
I'm so ashamed to have this disease vis-à-vis my classmates, my neighbors, my family. I don't want to show my face because I don't want people to know I have cholera and for them to mock me.
Abraham waited 4 days before getting help, unwilling to admit even to himself that he could have caught the dirty disease.
I had always heard that diarrhea from cholera is white. And well, mine wasn't, so I didn't think it was cholera, but something else, and that I could just take some tablets and get rid of it.
We used to talk about cholera without really worrying about it. Now cholera has taken over the country. Haiti is possessed by it.
He's my son, so I'm not afraid of cholera. If I'm afraid of my son, how will other people be around him? I can't be afraid of my own son.
In a nearby tent, Nurse Judith carries out a quick test of Abraham's stool. 15 minutes later, and she has the results.
Bonjour.
Hello.
Abraham, comment est?
How are you?
Probablement.
Not too bad.
Manger?
Have you eaten?
Non.
You need to eat, you know. Have you had some serum?
Okay.
I've just done the test, and you're positive. You hear me? You're positive, so you need to drink.
For every positive test of cholera here, an inquiry is carried out.
We're doing a study for MSF about cholera, and we're looking at how the bacteria is able to spread. Do you agree for us to come and let us visit your home?
Armed with chlorine, bars of soap and tests to check the presence of chlorine in water samples, these local volunteer researchers head out to find the source of the infection.
We're going to examine his house to see where he keeps his water, what type of house he lives in, and we're going to have a look at how it's maintained. Hello, can we come in?
Okay.
Jean-Bonique, are you noting the exact location? I need to note whether or not it's a modern toilet, and also whether or not it's inside or outside of the house. I check to see if the toilet is full. Also, whether or not there is water or soap available to wash hands afterwards. And well, there isn't.
We drink water from these bottles. When we're thirsty, we buy them and drink that.
But when they put it to the test...
0-0, there's no chlorine in it.
That's not to say the bottled water is necessarily bad, but chlorine is the most lethal weapon against cholera, and any consumption from unknown sources ups the risk.
One could indeed panic. I don't know where my cousin caught this disease. Maybe here, maybe outside. In general, we're always outside. We eat from street vendors.
Eating food and consuming drinks from street vendors is not rare in Haiti. All across the country, people spend the vast majority of their time outside their homes. A social lifestyle that one woman, we'll call her Louise, was ostracised from because she caught cholera. She brings us to the market where she has worked for years, but from which she was ousted even after she recovered, and for 3 months following her illness. She accepts to talk to us on condition we don't film her face.
Everyone here is afraid of me. They still are somewhat. When they eat or drink, they still don't invite me. When I walk by them, they tell me to wash my hands and to not touch them.
We did talk behind her back about her and the daughter that took care of her. We thought she was going to die because she was vomiting so much and had diarrhea.
I couldn't come to work, so I was losing money. I'm still struggling, and sometimes I have to buy on credits just to feed my kids.
And Louise has many mouths to feed. She has 9 children waiting for her at home, and since she got sick, she has had to raise them on her own.
When I told my husband I'd cholera, he refused to take me to hospital because it's so contagious. I spent 9 days there and he only came to visit twice. Since the illness, he refuses to touch me. He's got another woman now and he sleeps at her place.
In just over a week, cholera robbed Louise of her work, her husband, and all her material belongings.
The Red Cross disinfected the house. They told me to take everything outside and burn it. Clothes, bed, everything.
While physically Louise is better, she lives in fear of a possible relapse and that there will be no one near to take care of either her or her children.
None of my neighbours came to see me in hospital, and now when I see them, they avoid me. They call me cholera's leftovers.
Jewel Penny is one of Louise's few remaining friends. He brings us to the graveyard across the road from her house. For him, this is the real issue neighbours need to watch.
We didn't have cholera in this neighbourhood until after they buried people who died with it here. They buried them badly. The dogs came and dug them up. And that's how the disease spread around here. As a citizen, I don't feel at ease here. This is no place for a human to live.
With problems surrounding the burial of cholera victims and the challenge of maintaining hygiene vigilance in a country lacking a clean supply of water, despite progress, it will take years before Haiti is free of cholera again.
Well, that's it for this edition of Planet Hope. Thank you so much for watching. You'll be able to see this edition again online by logging on to france24.com. Bye-bye.